The morning light filtered through the sleek office windows as Olivia adjusted her carefully chosen outfit. A modest blouse and pencil skirt that made her feel professional despite her youth. At 19, this internship represented everything she had worked toward, her first real step into the corporate world, a chance to prove herself beyond classroom achievements. Her dark hair was pulled back in a neat ponytail, her notebook clutched tightly against her chest like armor as she navigated the maze of desks and conference rooms. It was her second week at the company, and Olivia was still learning names, faces, and the intricate social geography of the office. She had meticulously researched professional etiquette, determined to make the right impression. Each morning, she arrived 15 minutes early, her coffee already consumed at home so she wouldn't risk spilling it on her carefully curated professional wardrobe. That Tuesday morning, she found herself in the break room, refilling her water bottle when a man she hadn't met before entered. Tall with an easy confidence that suggested experience and comfort in these surroundings, he introduced himself as Mark from the marketing department. His smile seemed friendly enough as he extended his hand. "I'm Olivia," she replied, her voice clear and professional as she shook his hand. "I just started interning with the development team." Mark's eyes lingered a moment too long as they swept over her figure. "You look cute today," he said, his voice dropping slightly. "That outfit really works for you." A flicker of discomfort passed through her, but Olivia brushed it aside. Perhaps this was just how people talked in offices? Maybe she was overreacting. She managed a polite thank you before turning back to her water bottle, hoping the conversation would naturally come to an end. Instead, Mark leaned against the counter, blocking her easy exit from the break room. "So, you want to chill over lunch?" he asked, his tone casual but his eyes intent. "We could go to my apartment. It's private, just for us." Olivia felt her heart rate quicken, the warning bells in her mind growing louder. Every instinct told her this wasn't normal workplace conversation. The break room suddenly felt smaller, the air thicker. "I'm actually planning to eat lunch at the office," she replied, trying to keep her voice steady. She forced a small smile, attempting to navigate the situation without causing offense. "You must live close by if you're suggesting that." "Where exactly is your place?" It was a deflection, an attempt to normalize the conversation, to pretend his suggestion hadn't made her skin crawl. But Mark's response obliterated any possibility of misunderstanding. "Just a small studio apartment, walking distance," he said with a shrug. Then he paused, his eyes narrowing slightly as they fixed on her face. "Are you even legal?" The question hung in the air between them, its implications unmistakable. He wasn't asking about her right to work in the country or her driver's license status. The subtext was clear: if she came to his apartment, would having sex with her constitute statutory rape? The world seemed to stop around Olivia. The gentle hum of the office faded to silence. The water bottle in her hand might as well have been made of lead for how heavy it suddenly felt. Her mind, usually quick and articulate, went completely blank. She stood frozen, unable to process how a professional interaction had devolved so quickly into something so predatory. Seconds stretched into an eternity as Mark stared at her, waiting for a response. Perhaps reading the shock on her face, he eventually backpedaled. "I didn't actually mean to say that," he muttered, the words falling flat in the charged space between them, but the damage was done. The mask had slipped, revealing something dark and threatening beneath the veneer of workplace collegiality. Olivia mumbled something. She couldn't later remember what, and fled the break room, her water bottle forgotten on the counter. For the rest of the day, she moved through her tasks like a ghost, her mind replaying the interaction on an endless loop. Each replay brought new waves of disgust, anger, and vulnerability. This was supposed to be a professional environment, a place where her ideas and work ethic mattered more than her appearance or age. Instead, within minutes, she had been reduced to a potential sexual conquest, her value measured only by her legality as a sexual partner. That evening, after most employees had left, Olivia found herself outside the HR department, her hand trembling slightly as she knocked on the door. The decision to report the incident hadn't come easily. She worried about being labeled difficult, about ruining someone's career over a misunderstanding, about not being believed, but as she recounted the interaction to the HR manager, whose expression grew increasingly grave, Olivia knew she had made the right choice. This wasn't about her being oversensitive. This was predatory behavior that had no place in any environment, especially not a professional one. The next few days passed in a blur of interviews and statements. Mark was placed on review, and within a week, Olivia learned he had been terminated. The news brought a complex mix of emotions. Relief that she wouldn't have to face him again. Validation that the company had taken her experience seriously, but also a nagging sense of guilt that someone had lost their livelihood because of her report. As she sat at her desk, staring at the email confirming Mark's termination, Olivia wondered if she had overreacted. Had one inappropriate comment warranted such severe consequences? Should she have given him a chance to apologize properly, to make amends? But then she remembered the cold calculation in his eyes as he asked if she was legal. The way he had reduced her to nothing more than a potential sexual conquest, the violation of trust and professional boundaries that had left her feeling unsafe in what should have been a secure environment. No, she hadn't overreacted. She had simply refused to be silent in the face of behavior that should never be normalized or excused. Her worth wasn't determined by her appearance or her value as a sexual object, but by her character, her intellect, and her right to exist in professional spaces without fear or objectification. What would you have done in Olivia's position? Was reporting Mark to HR the right choice, or should she have handled the situation differently? Have you ever faced similar inappropriate behavior in a professional setting? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below.